Welcome to another edition of the Weekly Buff, and we have a special guest in the house, a 1994 silver E500. You ask yourself, it's just a Mercedes. No, this is not just a Mercedes. This is a high-performance Mercedes that was co-developed with Porsche of North America and contracted to build the chassis and build the motor. Yes, it has Mercedes components, but this car was putting out 322 horsepower and a top speed of 160 miles an hour. This guy that owns the client that owns this vehicle, his dad collected these Mercedes. He's even got a black series, which we might be seeing soon. This is getting full correction coating and interior detail, guys. We work on new cars and classic cars. I hope you enjoy this Weekly Buff.
It's game time and I'm up one.
How many bottles of talking? So we're about building relationships. Amatina, Glossy,
The fastest growing brands for detailing products, chemicals, and coatings in the world. Welcome to another edition of the Weekly Buff. And guys, this is a car that I have loved in the beginning of my detail business in the 90s. This beautiful E500 Mercedes has a wide body. It just has an aggressive stance. And it was co-developed with Porsche, which I said in the beginning of the video. This was to compete against the M Series BMWs and some Porsches. And today this car still looks amazing. As you guys know, prep is everything. We had to decontaminate the paint. Even though it was in pristine condition, prep is everything. They also wanted us to go over the interior, which was in amazing condition. Now, Junior's using the Evo 21 with a orange polishing foam pad that we manufacture and a light cut finish. The goal here is to get the paint as smooth and imperfection as free. And for being as old as this car was, I gotta say, it's an amazing paint job. I wish they painted cars like this today. The quality is just not the same. And we're applying our ceramic coating to the front and the back of the barrels to give it future protection and easy to clean. These are the factory wheels that came with the car. They look absolutely stunning. So we talk about prep and why prep is important. As you can see, the final finish on this car is, absolutely outstanding. We've got it out in the natural sunlight. And just look at this finish. This is a factory paint job from Mercedes, which is superior to the paint jobs today. Guys, I've been doing this for 36 years, April. I've been in business. Yes, I was 20 years old when I started. And I've never got tired of the satisfaction of making these cars showroom condition again. And you're gonna find out the true story with this customer and his dad. Check it out. Hey guys, it's another Weekly Buff edition. We got Phil here. He's the Mercedes man of Las Vegas. He owns this beautiful 1994 E500. It's a very cool story. I'm gonna introduce you to Phil. His dad was a big Mercedes collector.
Correct, Rich.
And he was based out of Ohio?
Cleveland area. That's
Cleveland.
right.
Cleveland. Is it the Hall of Rock of Fame there? Or?
Correct, exactly.
Because I've been there for car rallies.
Oh, okay.
We did a whole tour with a bunch of exotic cars parked out front. But he's been following us online a little bit, and he inherited this car in a black series, which I hope to see. That's a torque monster, but that's another story. But this car is beautiful. It's all original. So Phil, tell the people out there the story about this car, your dad, the options. This is just a neat car.
Be happy to do that, Rich. My father's a big Mercedes guy. And when this car was first introduced in 1992, it was well over $80,000. I think it was like $82,000 with taxes and everything.
Yeah.
And at that time in 1992, if you take into account inflation, it's like a $170,000 car.
Yeah.
And that was incredibly expensive for its day.
Right.
And not to mention it was the E-Class. It wasn't even the S-Class. This was the mid-range.
Right.
So they're asking a super high price. And my father was a big Mercedes guy, but he couldn't really see the justification for the price. So he never kind of took it seriously. Then in 1994, which was the final year of the production, he took one for a test drive, a used one at one of the local dealerships. And then it just blew him away. He then realized, why they were asking the money they were asking. Yeah. So he immediately went to the dealer, looked to buy a new one. Well, production run was over. He couldn't buy one. So he ended up buying a 1995 C36 AMG, which was the first collaborative car when AMG was purchased by Mercedes.
Right.
So he bought that car, he loved the car, but he knew it wasn't quite the E500.
Right.
So then he went on to his search to find a used one. So it came to, he found a dealership in Akron that had one that was kind of beat up. Second car he tested was actually Bobby Ray Hull's car, the IndyCar driver, who had a connection with Mercedes at the time, driving a Mercedes-powered car. Didn't get that one, and then he went to a dealership called Hatch & Sons in Massachusetts, and this is ended up being the car.
So what year was the year that he actually got to get the E500? Do you remember?
Probably right around 1997.
So a few years later, he found the car. So the question is, what did he pay for this car in 1997?
You know, it was probably mid to high 40s at the time.
So that was a bargain.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much, you know, depreciation hits all cars.
Correct.
But yeah, he got it for not quite half price, but pretty close.
So this car was engineered and developed. It's Mercedes parts. It's got the Porsche chassis, which was a collaboration between Mercedes and Porsche.
Yeah, quite a collaboration. I mean, we probably will never see it again. You know, it's like getting Ferrari and Lamborghini together and say, let's build a car.
I know, right?
It's not gonna happen.
The farmer and the Beano grower, right?
Right.
So this is a neat car. If you guys look at the front fenders and the rear fenders, you see one of these on the road, they're accentuated, so they're flared, which gives it a wider stance, a more aggressive stance. And this car was developed by Mercedes to go after like the M series cars by BMW.
Yeah, it was a really, I guess the true sense, like any special car, you have to experience it in the mindset of the manufacturer, what they had it designed for.
Right.
You drive a Porsche GT2, GT3.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know about the car until you drive it.
I know a guy that has a GT2 RS.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah.
And same with this car, you know, until you drive it on the highway or the Autobahn, then you realize what this car really truly is. And unfortunately, I had to experience to drive it cross country from Cleveland to Vegas.
And you kept it under 80 or 75?
I was always following.
Or what about when you were in Mexico?
Mexico, I don't quite remember that, but maybe I was drunk at the time.
So guys, we like telling stories about cars, and every car has a story and every customer has a story. That's what I use in my commercial. I came up with that slogan because it's true. And tell people out there, how's your experience been with Glossit? From the time you and I met, we walked the car and then we came up with a plan of action. We did a nice ceramic coating, a nice interior treatment, but most important, why did you come to Glossit? Why did you choose us?
Well, I work as a valet in one of the major casinos, so I lucky enough to meet and drive some of the exotic cars that are in this town. So I was aware of Rich through them a little bit. You know, anytime I see a nice car, I talk to the owner and have conversations, ask him about car care.
Yeah.
Rich's name come up, Glossit Company. And at the Vegas Auto Fest as well, I heard through him. Believe it or not, Rich, I haven't told you this, but my father talked to you at one point.
Did he?
And he was planning to do it. You know, he put it on the back burner, and obviously I'm fulfilling
the legacy
of what my dad wanted. But
see,
Rich has been great. I can't fault anything in terms of the process.
So we enjoy, if you guys would like to be featured on the Weekly Buff like Phil, and you have a cool car with a cool story like Phil and his dad has, leave a comment in the box, go to gidetail.com. We'll see you next week. Rich, thank you for visiting our YouTube channel, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Now, if you're a professional detailer and you're looking to grow your business, go ahead and click the video here. If you are a weekend warrior and you want to learn some pro detailing tips, go ahead and click here. And if you're looking to get into the detail business or you want to grow your detail business, go ahead and click below.